Hi, everybody. This is Joan Stewart, the Publicity Hound. Welcome to today's webinar on the best ways to attract Facebook fans, provide sterling content, and keep them coming back for more, just like the celebrities do. When I invited Mari Smith to do this, I had all 10 fingers and all 10 toes crossed, hoping that she would say yes, because I know how busy she is. And here's why. Mari is one of the world's foremost experts. Well, her bio says she's one of the world's foremost experts. I happen to think she is the world's number one expert on using Facebook as a marketing channel. She's the co-author of Facebook Marketing, An Hour a Day, and she's the lead author of The Relationship Age. She's dubbed the Pied Piper of the online world by fastcompany.com, and she's a popular social media keynote speaker, trainer, and thought leader. Just this morning, in fact, I saw a blog post from Dun & Bradstreet listing the top small business people on Twitter, and not surprisingly, Mari's name was on the list. She travels the United States and internationally to share her wisdom and provide social media keynotes and all kinds of corporate consulting and in-depth training. She is a self-described bubbly Scottish Canadian who lives in sunny San Diego, California, and she has a penchant for the color turquoise, in case you haven't noticed. And what I think is really cool, that the color of her clothing has become part of Mari's branding. If you do a search for Google images under Mari Smith's name, you'll find dozens of photos of her wearing all kinds of different turquoise jewelry and clothing. And she's wearing a beautiful turquoise dress in her profile photo that's on Facebook. As of this afternoon, I went and checked. Mari had a whopping 43,910 fans on her page at facebook.com/Mari Smith. And she's going to tell us how she did it. Mari is the primo person that I go to for all things Facebook. And I told her before we started the recording that I would like her to help me and you become the Mari Smiths of our own industries using our own Facebook pages, just like she has done. So, Mari, do you think you can do that?
I sure can. I'm up to the challenge.
Welcome. Your
Thank you.
page is a go-to destination for me. It's almost like I can't start my day unless I've been there to see what questions people are posting. So you've got a ton of content. So I'm going to let you dive right into it. And the people who are on the call, if you would type your questions into the chat box, we are going to have a ton of questions. And I am going to I'm going to go through the questions and stop Mari when we've got one that's pertinent to that particular topic. And just remember, we got a lot of content here, so if you've got a question, it might be covered later. So, Mari, it's all yours.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's really a delight to be here. Now, I was just looking to see if GoToWebinar has a telestrator. I like to scribble all over the screen, but I don't think it does. So, not to
No, I
worry.
don't know. They don't.
Not to worry. But you can see my mouse. Can you see my mouse moving around?
Yes, I can.
Oh, good. Okay, so well, that way then I'll just use the mouse for emphasis. Fantastic. Greetings and welcome. Truly a delight to be here. Thank you for your kind words, Joan. That is just so sweet. I don't think we've ever met in person, but we do need to one of
No,
these
we have
days.
not.
One of these days we will. We've been in this space for a long number of years. I know that. So here's how I'd like to proceed because I'm going to share my computer screen with you here, which you could all see outside my office window too. It's a glorious sunny day in San Diego here. And I'm going to lead you through some content that I call my 7-step formula for using the world's number one social network. Then Joan did an amazing job of compiling about 18 different really hot, as I call them, hot topics for Facebook. And I actually have them in my slides. I'm going to go through them with you. Real quick, my background for the last 12 years, I've been involved in the fields of relationship marketing and internet marketing. And in 2007, those fields merged and became one. With social media landed in my lap, an opportunity to become a beta tester of a Facebook app from a dear friend of mine. And I was a little bit resistant, I must say. I was reluctant. I'm like, oh, I don't need an online social network. I'm on MySpace, Academy, Rise, Plaxo, Friendster, all the other sites, and I'm didn't really do a whole lot with me. I didn't really work them, but I'm a big, huge fan of the internet, and like I say, I'm an internet marketer. But I remember the day distinctly. It was May 2007, and it was a defining moment. I pulled up Facebook.com and I thought there's something really, really different and unique about this site. They hadn't even reached their first 100 million back then. There were about 80 million users. Within about 6 months, Fast Company approached me, wrote me up, called Pied Piper of Facebook, as I just am such a raving evangelist for the site. Wrote a book last year. This is me visiting the Facebook offices up in Palo Alto in February of this year, and they really do have a wall, a Facebook wall. When you write in, they have all these pens and you can scribble away. That's me writing on, actually right next to Mark Zuckerberg's picture. So I just am very, very passionate, and I really in jest say that I'm an overnight success, 10 years in the making, and maybe some of you can relate to that. But throughout the years, I've had coaches and mentors say to me, Mari, you really need to pick a field. You can't be a relationship coach and relationship marketing and also do the internet. And I used to do email marketing and copywriting. They're like, you got to pick one. But lo and behold, I stood fast between the two areas because I love them so much, and they ended up merging and becoming one. To me, it's all about the relationships. It's
Hey,
really.
Mari, I got to stop you for a
Yes,
second.
dear.
I have to move away from the phone for a second, for a couple of minutes. I've got a call, go to webinar, and so I'm going to just let you continue on, and I will be back
Okay.
in a couple minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. You got it. So, yeah, you'll hear me talk about that. The book that I have coming out in September is called The New Relationship Marketing. And my publishers, Wiley, they approached me about a year ago and said they really want me to write this book because for many, many, many years, long before Facebook and Twitter came on the scene, I have called myself a relationship marketing specialist. And truly, what's changed is the medium. We now communicate regularly through Facebook, through Twitter, through blogs, through email's been around for a long time, but the medium has shifted. But really, the concept or the absolute fundamental basis, if you will, of what it takes to be a good relationship marketer has not changed. Really helping people, meeting them where they're at, being of service, etc. So I like to pop this slide in here, and this is for everybody to inspire you and to impress upon you of how easily you can connect with anybody in the world using Facebook in particular. And obviously Twitter, LinkedIn, blogging, etc., and live events. I think it's really important to combine your efforts with live events. Now, what this is a fun exercise I call my Hollywood Squares, and you can make a grid of whatever size you want. And all of these people here, Paula Abdul, Sir Richard Branson, Tony Robbins, there's Guy Kawasaki, Rudy Giuliani, etc. These are all people that I have met in person. I've shared the stage with them. Some have become my personal friends. Many of them have my number on their cell, speed dial, connect with me when they need support. Not Dalai Lama. I shared the stage with him at an event in 2009. He doesn't call me for social media advice, but many of them do. And my point is that you literally can befriend anyone you want to through social media. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but most of these people I've met, and many, many of the different events I've spoken at have come about as a result of how I use Facebook. And so those are some of the things I want to teach you today. And Facebook right now is over 704 million active members. What an active member is someone who's logged on in the last 30 days. So they might have a lot of dormant accounts and might have even more than that many, but that doesn't matter. The point is it's the largest social network on the planet. You know that. By the way, quick tip here. In fact, let me switch over because it's really cool that I can do desktop sharing. I love to do desktop sharing because I often think, oh, I just want to pull something up and show it to you guys. So the really cool thing is that I can do that with the way that Joan set this up. So I'm going to pull up this site here and just show you where I recommend that you keep an eye on it. It's called Social Bakers, socialbakers.com. They call it the heart of social media statistics. They used to be called Face Bakers. And for the longest time, Face Bakers was their name, and now they're Social Bakers. So they're looking to actually track Twitter statistics too. But you can see at a glance when you go and you click on countries, you can drill down, you can get all kinds of great information. But I'm just switching over here to draw your attention to the number. Now, I actually updated that number. Look at that. This number fluctuates. Sometimes you'll see it drop, the worldwide Facebook users. You'll see it drop when they get in there and they purge a lot of spam accounts or duplicates. But you can see clearly, even from when I wrote this, just literally, I think this particular slide I made about a week ago, no more than a week ago. So that's a dramatic climb. 712 million users. Amazing. So of those active users, half are logging on daily for an average session time of 55 minutes. It's insane. It's amazing. I just like to give a little quick shout out to Mike, to Mark. Mark Zuckerberg changed his name. I just really think that Mark is one of the most incredible visionary mavericks. I really think even for those of you on a more spiritual esoteric vein, you will relate to this. But I think on some level, on some consciousness, that we all co-created Facebook, and we actually chose Mark to be our leader at the helm. I mean, he's a very unique individual, and he's not that well loved in Silicon Valley. He's always pushing the envelope. He has mottos basically that it's better to seek forgiveness than ask permission, right? And I mean, I don't say that in jest. I think it's vital to protect people's privacy, and we'll talk about that element too. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to cover it too. Is the privacy that really the onus is on you. The onus is on us as the users. But the point of this slide is that Mark Zuckerberg, his vision, his mission for Facebook is to help the world connect and communicate more effectively such that world problems might be solved. And clearly, we are seeing that happen. We are seeing that happen with the revolution in Egypt, and people connecting, and just long lost relatives, people finding their adopted adults finding their birth parents, people finding children to adopt. And I think there's been more family reunions and school reunions in the last 4 years than there has in the previous 40 as a result of Facebook and the connecting. So here's my formula. I'm going to zip through these 7, and I have a slide for each one. And there's a lot of what I call TPOVs, TPOV, which is teachable points of view. So I'm going to teach you as I go along. I'm going to share with you some of the things that I do, and that I think you'll find really valuable to implement yourselves. You like my little image here, Strategy Street and Implementation Avenue. So before you do anything, you need to be clear on your objective. Now, it's very interesting. I was just had Guy Kawasaki on a webinar on Monday. Some of you might have been tuned into that. But Guy has a really unique philosophy, a unique perspective on how to approach social media. And he's like, oh, you have to make a strategy and you have to have an objective. That's just BS. I'm using his words. I wouldn't normally use them. But he says that just jump in and do it. Well, the thing is, in some of my studies and the audiences that I speak to, all different industries, the number one reason that people are resistant to really embracing and integrating Facebook, to like really use Facebook fan pages for their business, number one reason is negative comments. They're afraid of negative comments being written on their wall. So how can you just jump in without really first thinking about, okay, how can we really be clear about this? So I think there's room for all perspectives and approaches. Guy has a point, but also some, a lot of the different social media experts talk about having a clear objective. And then the next slide I've got.
Mari, what do you do when you get a negative comment on your page?
Oh, that's a great one. That's a great question. And I do. I get negative comments. I get negative tweets. I get negative comments on my blog posts. And unfortunately, or fortunately, that the online world is quite simply a microcosm of the macrocosm. There's wackos and weirdos and trolls and spammers and stalkers in the world. It's a fact of life. So one of the worst things you can do is pretend it doesn't exist and go for a totally whitewashed wall and just delete everything. My philosophy is this: if people have grounds to complain, if they have a reason to be upset with you, handle it in public, because you have an opportunity to display to your community at large how you can turn somebody around and basically turn them into a customer for life. And
plus, I look at it this way. If somebody doesn't like something that I'm doing, I'd rather have them post it on my page where I can respond to it than to post it someplace else where that I don't know about.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even all the Google alerts in the world, I mean, if somebody doesn't use your exact name or a keyword, you might not be able to pick it up. So I'm with you right there, Joan. I'm the same. I'm like, you got a complaint, come and tell me to my face, come and write my wall. I'll handle it no matter what. And I just really feel too, from a more compassionate standpoint, if you will, that sometimes people that are just really upset and angry, they just have a lot of anger in them. They haven't done enough emotional and spiritual work on themselves.
Yeah, we've got a couple of comments here from people who are saying they're having a difficult time hearing us. So I'm going to try to turn up the volume on my voice a little bit. Mari, can you try to do the same?
I sure can.
Okay, good.
Let me just get my audio here and I'll push up the input. Okay, let's see. I thought that was higher. Let's see. I'm
That's good.
maxing up the input, so that might be better.
Little bit lower maybe.
Too low, too high, I mean. Okay, how about that? Any better?
That's good.
About there?
Yep.
Okay.
Very good.
All right, perfect. Good. Thanks for bringing that up. I know it's always so important that we get heard for sure. So yeah, but if people are writing stuff on your wall that's absolute blatant spam and it's just ridiculously inaccurate and they have no grounds, then definitely delete it and watch for keywords that you can then put into your moderation block list. And that's in behind your edit page, and it's on the moderation block list for your fan page. So that's always a good thing. So we'll talk about your design, the look and feel of your fan page, and we're going to talk about welcome tabs, the content. These are 7 strategies that you need to have in place, or at least have made some notes on and given some thought to, is how you're going to actually roll them out. And many of you already be down further along the road with these. What content you're going to post, how you're going to bring fans to your page, how you're going to get the word out there that you have this wonderful fan page that people can come to and get support or get information or get products, whatever. An engagement strategy, a conversion is crucial. I made these over the years, and I started out, I just had 4, and then oh my gosh, we better add conversion in here, and that means that it's all very well having a wonderful fan page and everybody's all connected and getting lots of value, but by gosh, you better have a strategy to convert them into paying clients. And so we'll talk about that, tracking and measuring, and then scalability. And Joan and I were just talking offline a little bit before the webinar about scalability, so we'll talk about that too. Clear objectives, some examples for you. Number 1, build your email list. If ever, and Joan, I'm pretty sure you're with me on this one, if ever anybody out there sees people talking about, oh, email marketing's dead, forget it, that's rubbish. I don't think email marketing is ever going to go away. It's shifted a little bit. I mean, you have to be really laser with your deliverability. You need to be, monitoring your open rates and your click-through rates and segmenting your list and things like that. You also need to integrate social. You've got to be able to let people know through your emails.
And the fact remains, the money is in the email.
Yeah, it's true. The money's in the relationship that you have and that loyalty factor that if you don't burn your list. I'm a big fan of, I don't do solo blasts for anybody. I don't just, every offer that comes along, I'm going to blast it to my list, and I've had to turn down a lot of offers because of that. But I'm very, very happy with the relationship I have with the subscribers on my list because of that. But with your Facebook fan page, you can have that opt-in box right on your page. You can definitely drive traffic to your blog. Some different ways to do that. Actually, you want to install the network blogs. Actually, let me just hop over. See, I'm on that point here, just in case I don't come back to it. I want to make sure I cover it. So with apps, I'm going to recommend that you install an app called, actually we have it right here because you can change the name, called the app, install the app Network Blogs. You can just go to facebook.com/network blogs and you install that and add it to your page, import your blog feed. Then what I do is there's a little setting in behind here where you don't allow the app to automatically post on your wall, because then you want to make the post manual in order to get the highest visibility in the news feed. So that's one. But what I also do, which is kind of ninja, is see this Notes app here, Facebook Notes app. You can also pull in your blog posts. I don't know why it's doing that. It's interesting. It's pulling in the retweet button as a preview. It didn't used to do that. They got some bugs going on today. They definitely have some bugs going on. See, a lot of people might notice on your info tab, yeah, they haven't fixed it yet. The website field on your info tab for everybody right now is pointing to facebook.com/URL. Even though that says marismith.com, I don't know if you guys can see in the status bar down in the bottom left. So that's a little bit of a goof going on right now. But in the Notes app, something's going on here too, because normally it would give you some text. But nonetheless, my point is this. Given that Facebook has a #2 Alexa ranking, they're the second most traffic website in the world, second only to Google. They are the #1 in the world for site visits, for length session time. So I have frequently found when I'm looking for stuff on Google, my own blog post will come up on Google as the Facebook note higher than my own website, because Facebook had such great indexing. So you got some great, keyword rich blog posts automatically import them into your Notes app. And like I say, set it so that you are not automatically post them to your wall. There's a little setting in there. I have a lot of private settings in behind, so I don't like to on a live webinar expose too much. But what you do is you go edit page, and then down the left there'll be apps. So you go to apps and then you click notes on the app section there, and there'll be a little thing that says edit settings. And then there's another one, I think off the top of my head it says advanced, but there's a little box that'll say publish to the wall, and you uncheck publish to the wall. And voila, it's these two to me, Joan, are just set and forget. I got network blogs going on and I got notes, and I don't mind or care if anybody goes to those tabs. They're just sitting there to get me some nice more SEO, haha. So that's how you get more traffic to your blog, get more paying clients, of course, media attention. You'd be amazed at how many major contacts in the media are on Facebook. That's where my originally got written up in 2008 in Fast Company, and it was because I was Facebook friends with one of the journalists. I didn't know her before. We just happened to be Facebook friends. Improved customer service. Best Buy do a great job of that. Repeat business referrals. Obviously, establish yourself as a leading authority. One of the concepts behind this piece here is that what's called top of mind awareness, so that when you become really skilled at mastering that edge rank, it's a work in progress. Believe me, I don't think for any moment that I've mastered it, but I'm every day working on it and looking at my statistics to see how well the different posts do. But with Facebook, obviously you're not going to just use Facebook, blogging, Twitter, whatever, but notice that the root word of authority is author. Maybe people know this already, but really to become an authority, you need to author. You don't have to write a book, but you need to write more. You need to be authoring more posts, tweets, updates, things like that, and getting seen in the feed. And then really becoming the #1 go-to expert in your area. One of the keys too with these last two bullets is focus. Focus is one of the fundamental principles that I teach in all my trainings, and I love to use it as an acronym, which is follow one course until successful. And back in 2007, I just fell in love with Facebook, was madly in love with it, and I still am. We're having this passionate love affair with Facebook. And quite frankly, I could have, branched out and done all kinds of other different things, but it just didn't appeal to me as much as I'm very active on Twitter, and I've tried to really love LinkedIn, and I'm just not as passionate about it. So that was the thing with the focus. And now with this new book I have coming out in September, the new relationship marketing, I am able to spread my wings a little bit and break out of the box, quote unquote, if you will, of only being a Facebook expert, because that's where I want to go. So #1, so the design strategy, and this is the thing. One of the first things you're going to want to do with your fan page is to create a couple of custom graphics. A nice graphic here on the image, and your dimensions are going to 180 across by 540 down. And since Facebook moved from tabs, there's two features here I miss so much on both the profile and the fan page, is the tabs above the wall and the last status update. Man, I miss that, because it was just like kind of the headline of what's going on. But anyway, what's the point? There's no point complaining.
Can I jump in here and ask a question?
Sure.
You said, go ahead and create this, a great graphic on the left-hand side. Rather than do this myself, I am not a graphics person. I hired somebody to do this for me, and they coordinated the Facebook look with the Twitter background, with my YouTube channel, and I'll give them a plug. They're customfanpagedesigns.com. There are a zillion companies out there that do this, and they're really inexpensive. Instead of trying to horse around to make good graphics yourself, I just think it's worth it to just, spend a couple $100 and have it done right. That's my 2 cents.
I 100% agree, and I actually use the same company. They're the ones that designed my welcome page here. It's Custom Fan Page Designs, Jackie and Tim Kincaid over there in Florida. They're just sweet, sweet people. They do a great job, and they're very reasonable. That's one you're welcome to look at. Under here I have my big list of apps. I'm pretty sure that I have some designers in there too. You always see my own code view for a second here.
We're going to go back to the welcome page later on, right?
Yeah, we've got a few different things to cover there.
Okay, good. Okay,
I
good.
think I have some designers listed. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so and there's custom fan page designs, HyperArts, all kinds of social identities that he does a great job. One of the things when looking to hire a graphic artist is look for a portfolio. You want to see some examples of their work and just get a feel for how they how well they can how creative they are. And your budget, like Joan said, nah, couple hundred tops, you can get really nice done. So I was saying, so 180 across, but you can chop it maybe at about 400, which is what I've done now. I haven't taken up the full length of the 540 because I want my tabs here, my links to be a little bit further up and above the fold. So that's that. But yeah, there's a study done out there that when you land on this custom fan page, you're going to convert visitors to fans. You're going to get them to click that like button at a rate of 47% versus if you just send them to the wall, only 23% of your visitors will convert to fans. Now, number one goal of the fan page, well, actually, I'm saying number one goal, but it actually does go back with your objectives. If one of your objectives is to sell more products, you could emulate Threadless. And what Threadless have done with their landing page is a whole store. You can actually go and browse the t-shirts and add to cart and comment and like and do all kinds of stuff without ever joining the fan page. And so the landing tab needs to serve the objective. But for most people, the objective initially is to get people to join the fan page so that you can then, get them into your community. And so the fan page needs to communicate, thanks for being here, you're in the right place, here's an idea of what you can expect when you join. Some content ideas. Now, you don't need to, unlike Twitter, where you could easily be tweeting, a dozen times a day, and it just moves so fast. I always think of the Twitter stream like a river, or even more like Niagara Falls, like a waterfall, whereas Facebook is more like a stream, or just sometimes doesn't move much at all, depending on how many friends and fan pages an individual is connected to. Their newsfeed might not move that fast. So you could easily do about 2 to 3 posts on your fan page wall a day, and that's it. Actually, I usually do a minimum of 1, maximum of 3. Some days I do 3 and I'll see an increase in the people that unlike and hide or hide, or not or, but and hide.
Any special times of day that you post those?
Yes, excellent question. So there are what I call high traffic windows, and every person has their own. Depending on the time zone. So recently, now I know it was Kissmetrics. You guys can find a really terrific post that I recently tweeted out, kissmetrics.com, and they have a great blog post, and the stats were actually pulled from our friend Dan Zarella. He calls himself a social media scientist. The science of social timing. Here it is. So go to blog.kissmetrics.com, and then you'll see that the science of social timing. Wonderful. They made a beautiful infographic out of it. In fact, if we can
That's cool.
click on that. So, and it was this infographic that really surprised me. I think it was this one, Joan, but there was a place where it showed you that 80%, this is part 2, that's why there's a part 1 and part 2, so check out both. Part 1 has the map where it shows you the time zones. 80% of the US residents are in Central and Eastern time, and that blew me away. That blew me away because, yeah, I'm like, wait a minute, I've lived in this country 12 years and I didn't know that? What? And I'm in the Pacific, so often I will start tweeting at 8 a.m. Pacific. Well, 8 a.m. Pacific is already 11. So the East Coast guys have already gotten a good head start in their day. So I started to back up and program some of my tweets earlier, and I'm starting sometimes at 5 a.m., which is 8 a.m. Eastern. So you're going to play around with that and just see what kind of results that you get. They're saying here the dead zone is 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Okay, and I think these times are in Eastern. But look at part 1 and part 2, some beautiful infographics that they've designed. But typically you're going to find anywhere from, for me, a high traffic window is from 7 a.m. Pacific, or let's go by Eastern, that's 10 a.m. Eastern through about 2, no, that would be 11. Oh, it's just easier to do in Pacific. 7 Pacific to about 1 Pacific. Okay, add on 3 hours to get the Eastern. That's my top time that I would want to post on Facebook for the first post. And then I might post again later in the day, about mid-afternoon and sometimes evenings. Now, what some of those reports, there's Kissmetrics, there's another great one by Buddy Media, buddymedia.com/resources, and go ahead and get their free white papers and talking about EdgeRank. And they say for different industries, don't ever ignore weekends. Saturdays are one of the best days to post on Facebook. For some people, depending on industry, like I say, it could be you'll get some great mileage out of afternoons and evenings versus mornings. So play around with it and watch watch the engagement rate, watch how many likes and comments that you get and impressions. So you want to use a combination of half and half. About half your own content, which comes from your blog and your own thoughts, your own articles, your own website, and the other half, what I call OPC, other people's content, and sharing. And really, this is one of the best ways, both Facebook and Twitter, that you can become known as a go-to person for your subject matter expertise. Is that you are going to do the legwork, the hard work of curating. You become a human aggregator. You literally have all your different sources and you cherry pick what you think that you're going to put your name to, and you essentially, a retweet or a Facebook post is a form of endorsement. So it's the like button. You're endorsing something. You're saying, yes, this is quality. Yes, I think you should read this. So by subscribing to different blogs, in Google Reader, making Twitter lists, which is a wonderful way. It's one of my most popular places to find Facebook content is on my Twitter list called Facebook Marketing, and it's a public list. Anybody can follow it. I can pull it up for you here. You can just go to my Twitter account. I have it in my bookmarks right here. I look at it several times a day. People often ask me, how do I keep up to date on everything that's happening on Facebook? I look at Twitter. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? So it takes a second to load every now and again. Twitter just acts up. But that's the name of the list. It's Facebook Marketing on Twitter. I have 88 different accounts in there. And some of it's junky, but I just look over it. Most of it's really good stuff. You can make Facebook friend lists and put fan pages into them. You might not have known that, but you can actually add fan pages into a Facebook list, a friend list, and then that way you can just navigate on your news feed. Subscribing to Ezine articles or Ezine subscriptions, looking at your email, and Alltop. That's Guy Kawasaki is wonderful. You can find any content about any subject in the world on Alltop. So great ways to really become an aggregator. And I popped this little slide in here from my friend David Tyerman, who's a branding expert. He wrote a book called World Famous. The more similar we are, the more invisible we come. Well, here's some things. Here's some kind of behind the scenes, under the hood thinking in Mari's world. Okay, Joan? So like a couple years ago when Mashable began to get so outrageously popular, I stopped retweeting them. Now every now and again I will retweet Mashable because they're phenomenal. But you've got to think outside the box and be a little bit more different and unique. And how can you find content that nobody else is retweeting and promoting out there? So I frequently go and I look for people who are up and coming, who are brilliant in their expertise, and they write great content. And I love to promote them and drive traffic to their site because it's a win for everybody. I mean, an example would be Christy Hines. And she's a great writer in her blog at Kikolani. And she doesn't have, she has a decent number of followers. She's not like, a big, massive celebrity yet anyway. So I like to, share stuff like that. Or Simply Zesty is another one. So that's how you can like really go and find unique content that not everybody and their mother's already sharing anyway. And of course, everybody reads Mashable.
That's a great tip.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
That's a great tip.
Yeah, thank you. Now then, we've covered this a little bit. Here's the kind of good news and not so good news. And basically, studies have shown even as much as 95% of Facebook users, they don't return to your fan page once they click the like button. They only see and interact with your content in the news feed. And so that's why it's so important to really be playing with that. As you mentioned earlier, Joan, the best time of day. Also, we've got frequency. I'm going to talk about types of posts. Typically, photos get the highest weight. But just to understand how the newsfeed works, it's an algorithm called EdgeRank, and it has 3 different components. And you can read, there's different posts out there. You can read about them. Trying to think where would be a good one to read. Actually, Social Media Examiner and a guest post that I wrote called Facebook. Yeah, yeah. So,
This is what Mari's talking about now. It sounds like it's geek stuff, but this is real important what she's talking about, because you want to show you want your content to show up in other people's news feeds. And it's
right.
not going to unless you interact with those people or they interact with you. Is that correct, Mara?
That's absolutely correct, because I think people get confused. There's a lot of confusion surrounding EdgeRank, and people think that it's a score, that each fan page has a score. Well, in fact, it is a score, but it's a score that's unique to every fan that you have on your page and every piece of content. So, for example, let's just take a quick peek at my last post. It would have been this morning. I'm talking about the new fan page design. So this content, this post here, and it's too early to see the stats. We don't see the stats yet. Let's actually pull down and we'll look at one that does have stats. So this was a photo, so this probably got a little bit more visibility. But this post with the photo, it gets the three areas. Basically, the first one is affinity, is relationship. So the people that saw this and commented in their newsfeed, they're probably pretty active on my page. They're already liking and commenting and posting and tagging. It takes into account all of those, so they get more likely to see it. And the second one is weight, so the type of post. So this was a photo, I think. No, actually, no, it wasn't a photo. It was the actual link. I think I might have posted a photo earlier. Oh, I did. I know what I did. Yeah, here, this one was a photo. So that's got a little bit more. Oh, this is a good example, in fact. See that? That's a link. 19,000 impressions, 0.28 feedback. This one is a photo. 39,000 impressions. So more impressions and more feedback.
That's something.
Hmm?
Who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, exactly. And let's look at the time. 4:52 p.m. and 10:07 a.m. So I would have thought this would be a higher traffic window. So that's 1 o'clock Eastern. And so I would have thought that's a higher traffic window. But the fact is, it was a link. It was the second time in 2 days I was posting the same content. But you see how I did that? This one was a photo, and the other one was a link. The nice thing about photo is that you have much more room to write. You're not limited to the 420 characters that you are on a status update or a link. You could actually put a whole bunch of content in here. It's really cool. And like I say, Facebook loves photos. In fact, Guy the other day was saying that Facebook is a photo economy and Twitter is a link economy. So,
do you this is sort of a dumb question, but I used to be a reporter, so I get to ask dumb questions. When you post something to your Facebook wall, do you like it?
You know,
so you
sometimes
always like what?
Not always. No,
Okay.
no. I would say actually, as I look down here, I rarely like my own content. I mean, I like it. I just don't click the like button. Haha. But
Okay, should we be clicking the like button when we post to our own page?
you know, I like to like comments. So if I look down here and if I like, oh, see, I didn't get to that one. So you can see where it says unlike, I've clicked the like button. I like to like the comments, and the primary reason that I'm liking people's interactions is to let them know I've read it. See here, this one from this morning, anywhere it says unlike. I read it, because I absolutely do. I never click it. I never ever click the like button unless I've read it first. Because like I say, like button is a form of endorsement. So you can't just throw it away. And yeah, I mean, I don't think it makes a difference if you like your own. I heard some people talking about that you'll increase your newsfeed if you do that. I mean, your EdgeRank. I don't know about that. The third component of EdgeRank is recency. So you're going to see stuff in your newsfeed, you know, from 2 minutes ago versus 20 hours ago. So yeah, but this post here, how to measure, you could just Google that to find it, or sort of just go to socialmediaexaminer.com, do a search, how to measure your Facebook. And I talk about EdgeRank in here quite a bit, and how to really understand that a little bit. Or the EdgeRank, just a real explanation. There's a graphic in there to show you exactly how EdgeRank works. So.
Okay.
So,
and Mark, give me the heads up when you're ready to go on to a new section, because I have several questions here that need to be answered.
Okay, all right. So we'll press the pause button. We were talking about content. So before I go into promotion, go
ahead.
Yeah.
The $1,000,000 question: how often do you respond to people's comments and/or questions?
Every single time.
And that's what I think is the value of Mari's hey, Mari spends, and I don't know how many hours a day you spend answering questions, but it's all high content stuff.
Thank you, thank you. It is, and it does become, it can become extremely time consuming. So you can do many, many different things. For those of you that have, you're getting to that point where it's taking too much time, some fun things that you could do is you could put a post up and say, what is your top three questions about, fill in the blank, whatever your expertise is, whatever you think that people are having a challenge with, ask them for questions. Where are you stuck with, or what is the number one thing that's holding you back from, fill in the blank. Get all those questions, get them to dump all their questions into one thread, and then do a free webinar. Do a free webinar or a free teleseminar, or write a blog post about it or something like that. For example, my number one, hands down, number one blog post is right up here at the top. It's how to contact Facebook. I was so tired, Joan. I was so tired of people posting
Oh
on my wall.
my.
How do I contact Facebook? How do I contact Facebook? And so I just put together this monster. I took several days to find all the sources, but put together this monster post. And
Oh, I refer people to this all the time.
thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. But that's
Look at that. 1,739. Wow.
that's an example of how to handle like the scalability. So you'll see frequently on my page if people are saying, "Oh, I need to reach Facebook," and I have my little short link for it is just bring up a little sticky here is http bit.ly/fb uppercase forms, and let me just enlarge that a little bit. Yeah, so I know so many Bitly links off by heart, and this is a great tip for everybody. If you find yourself frequently referring to something, make a custom Bitly link, and then it just makes it so easy. As soon as I see anyone on my page looking to reach Facebook, I just send them there. And
Bitly is simply a link shortener. It's
correct.
easy to remember.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. buddymedia.com/what?
Resources.
What? Resources.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Next. Good. Okay. Next question. Mari mentioned the size of a page avatar, but not the size of the welcome image in the center column.
Okay.
Welcome page.
Max width is wait, let me get this right. It is 520 pixels across, and you can have any length, whatever length you want. But it's 520, and not to get that confused, it's a little, because the image here is 180 by 540 height, and then this image across is 520 max, and whatever length. You can go on and on and on ad infinitum.
Okay. How do you add custom landing tabs?
Well, you hire somebody. No, seriously, you can come to my page here, facebook.com/Mari Smith. Go to the big list of apps. It shows differently for me because I'm obviously the admin, so I have to just do a couple extra clicks. Should show like this for you. There are some great tips and ideas in here for you. If you are a whiz with graphics and code, great, go for it. Use any of these different ones I got here: TabPress, Static HTML, IWI Page, Tab Site. There's Wildfire has one. These are all free self-serve apps. Okay. You can also add your own iframe page. Much more technical. Have not even done it myself. I know just enough code and techie stuff to be dangerous, but ultimately I'm a marketer. I'm not a coder or a programmer, or like you said, Joan, a graphic artist, whatever. Alternatively, keep on scrolling down, and Joan and I gave a big plug to Custom Fan Page Designs, and there's a few others in here. Social Identities, I like, as I say, and you're going to spend maybe somewhere between $100 and $200. But otherwise, if you want to play around with it, Tab Site, let's pull up these guys. They just recently launched this last week, and it's called Drag and Build. And I put this page up in 3 minutes flat. I just dropped a little widget in with my tweets, dropped a little widget in with my blog posts, dropped a widget in with a YouTube video. Boom, hit publish. So cool. So you could do all kinds of fun stuff with something like that, Tab Site.
Okay. We were talking about the value of email lists, and this is a really good question. How do you get people's email addresses from Facebook? Do you have to have them complete a form?
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. And you have to have your own email management system, whether it's MailChimp or Constant Contact, One Shopping Cart. I use Infusionsoft myself. You need an email management solution. You can't, well, you could if you wanted, but I don't recommend it. But you can't just collect emails. I like to always recommend to people, start the way you mean to go on. If you're going to build a list and in order to market to them, you will need to pay a nominal monthly fee for a good email management system, any of the ones I just mentioned.
Okay. What's the best way to learn about who your Facebook fans are when you have thousands of them?
To
I
learn
think the
about
question
them.
she's asking is where do you find all your Facebook fans? Is there a list someplace?
Well, there is about that for sure. So you see the number, and they're always making changes, right? So I liked it when they used to have the little random block of images, but
Right.
now we just
Okay.
got this boring number. But nonetheless, you click people like this. This is quite handy though. This is relatively new. I wish we could see more, but you scroll down and you have to click see more. And I was just talking to someone earlier above about the ability to export. That would be cool. But don't neglect this little button here because this is fairly new. So this is showing you all the people, but you can also see pages. So these are all the fan pages that have liked your page. They do not get counted in this number here. Okay, I wish they did, but they don't, and I don't think they ever will because the fans are really true fans. They're individuals. They're not necessarily businesses, but who knows what Facebook's going to do with this at some point. But that's how you see them. Pages, you can also see who's admin, and if ever you accidentally ban someone, this is where to go in and look at the banned list and then unban them if you want to. So, yeah.
Okay. What's a welcome page? She says I have a fan page, but I don't have a welcome page. How do I incorporate the two?
Actually, I think if we just call it a welcome tab, because people get confused with that, a fan page is exactly what we're looking at here. It's where you get people come and join you. It's a way to build a community. You can call them fans or not if you want. Facebook still calls them fans, even though they changed the button to like. They're not really likers per se. It's not a like page. But the welcome, these, and we also still call these tabs. They used to be tabs across the top above the wall here, but I still call them tabs. So it's really a welcome tab, landing, a default landing tab, and those are what we were just talking about. You're welcome to come and look here at the big list of apps, or just go straight to
And
customfanpagedesigns.com.
Mari, explain what the power of a welcome page is, because I've heard
Sure.
you lecture on this,
Yeah.
where you talk about the conversion, of how the
Yeah.
conversion is so much better.
Exactly, exactly. That was on a slide right here. Oopsie daisy. Yeah, Jeff Widman of Glue and PageLever.com, he actually did this study. He did a study where they did it through ads. So they placed two sets of ads, and one ad was driving people to the wall, and the other ad was driving people to a custom landing tab. It's basically like the home. If you think of it like the home page on your website, the home page has to jump out and say to the people, say to the visitors, you're in the right place. Here's what you can expect. This is what I'm going to share with you. Come on in, click the like button, join us here. We have a great community, that kind of thing. So it resonates with people. And like I say, the study, they just showed that you're going to get more people will click that like button than if you just send them to the wall.
And I think, and you can do calls to action on
Uh-huh.
there, like right there. You have, if you like my page, please clickety click.
Hmm.
And everybody wants to know how to make a welcome page. Again, we're in the techie territory. That's not my area of expertise. Get Custom Fan Page Designs or any one of these other companies that do this. And they asked me a whole bunch of questions. They had me lay out my page for them, and they went and did it. And it's you don't have to worry about any of the techie stuff. So really, I would highly advise you to hire somebody to do this for you. You have to decide what you want on the welcome page, but they will actually get their hands dirty and post it. They'll upload it for you.
Exactly, and a good designer will ask you the right questions. You can see this is socialidentities.com, and you want to see something like this. You want to see because you can look at this and get ideas, and you can look and see what other people that they've worked with, and sometimes you'll find people you know in here, and get an idea of what's possible. Yeah.
And somebody wants to know, where do you capture email addresses on your page. Murray, do you have a opt-in box on your welcome page?
You know what? I actually don't. I'm so funny. I am so long
Like the
overdue.
shoemaker's kids who don't have shoes?
Well, I'm so overdue an upgrade. Jackie, bless her heart, Jackie and Tim keep telling me they're ready to upgrade when I am. This is about 18 months old, and I'm long overdue an upgrade. So I don't have it in mind. But let me try to think of an example. I just recently saw.
Well, if you go to
You got one in
if you
yours?
go to mine
You bet.
at facebook.com /publicity hound, and then click on welcome. And I'm not sure that this is really super wise.
This is
Just click
perfect.
on the welcome page.
Yeah.
I do step 1, 2, 3.
That's perfect. Beautifully done. Beautifully
Step
done.
1, like my page. Step 2, sign up for my newsletter. Step 3, read more about how I can help you. And I sort of mimicked your how I can help you stuff
Nice.
on your welcome page because I loved it. So there you go.
Nice.
1, 2, 3. Real simple.
Nice. I like it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Very nicely done. Yeah.
And I got my dog there.
Look
and
at your
she's
little
really cute, and everybody
bogey.
comments, and it's warm and fuzzy, and there you go. So
That is so cute. Yeah, that's really nicely done. That's nice visuals. Um, and so then, yeah, they just put the name in the email and they can go ahead there. And some people might opt in and then click like or whatever, click like, then do it. So yeah, brilliant example.
okay, I think that's it for questions.
Okay.
So if you want to go into the next
March on.
segment.
We will do that. Next segment. And we were talking about that. And then I wanted to get into promotion. Now, this is probably the number 3 year. People can, they get the design, they got beautifully designed site. Actually, one of the mistakes that people make is they hook up their blog and their tweets and they pre-program and use third-party apps and they try to do Facebook on set and forget, and it will not work unless you decide that you're going to be like a news channel. Like if we look at Mashable. Mashable is a huge page, but you will rarely see Mashable on here engaging and interacting and commenting with their fans. It's a broadcast, and you see how it's coming through Hootsuite. So they got it programmed. It just lands on the page, several times a day. So their page is a news channel. So unless you want to be a news channel, you're going to need to actually and engage with people. So and get people to come over. So you can actually. You can certainly let your Facebook friends know. I was never a big fan of that suggest to friends feature anyway, because I don't like to bug all my friends and say, okay, now that we're friends, come and join my fan page. Most people would anyway, and that's fine, but I think you need to think outside of Facebook and outside of your profile and know that over time your friends will be more than happy to come and join your page anyway, especially when they see you talking about it from time to time on your profile wall. I think I have another slide coming up too that goes into even more depth as well. So, but you've got ads. You can host an event. You can do kind of a Facebook launch party or something if you wanted, online or offline. You can look in other groups. You can look at other pages and using tagging strategically. I got a slide coming up about that. Also, thinking outside of Facebook. So on Twitter, direct people to Facebook. Now, with your fan page, every single post, like Twitter, every single post has its own unique URL. So, for example, let's say I wanted to spark more discussion about this post here. I'm just going to click on the link. Now, I use the little...
This is a super tip. This one.
So,
I couldn't figure this out to save my soul
oh,
until I read it on your page, Murray.
Oh, good. Oh, good. So you click the timestamp. Now you have the raw URL for that post. And the beauty of having the comments come in onto Facebook is that they're not threaded. I wish they were, could do threaded, but they're all grouped together. Versus Twitter is all over the map. It's just hard to kind of get all the same conversation in one place, and that's okay. That's just the nature of Twitter. Now I mentioned earlier about Bitly, which is that link shortener, and I have the little Bitly sidebar. And so see how automatically, I'm already logged into Bitly. Definitely want a Bitly account. See how it automatically made a short link. That's Facebook's version of Bitly. You'll see a lot of custom short links out there. Now I'm just going to take this and I'll say, what are your thoughts on the new Facebook design being rolled out? And answer on Facebook. Something like that. And now if I go share, that's actually going to go out as a tweet. I'm not going to do it right now, but it's just an example. If I go share, I'm given a clear direction. I know that people are going to tweet back to me. They're just going to tweet because they'll see that going by in their stream and they'll just give me their thoughts on Twitter. But I want to go, I might even go to colon like that and then answer on Facebook. Please answer on Facebook, something like that.
That's a great tip.
Please answer on Facebook, something like that. Yeah. In fact, and I always watch my character count. I'm giving you guys some little Twitter tips here too. I keep it to, I leave 15 characters clear. Your retweet rate will go up when you leave 15 characters clear because people have room to write their own little comment. What are your thoughts on it? So there you go. That would be a classic example of how to get people on your Twitter account to come and engage and more. Now, guess what? If they're not yet a fan, they're going to come here and they will not be able to add a comment until they become a fan. So that's a great...
Can I add another little tip?
Sure.
And some of you who have been on previous webinars have heard this. I saw on my Facebook the fan numbers really shoot up when I started to do this. When you're on LinkedIn and you accept somebody's invitation to connect with you, you don't just click accept and go on. You click accept the invitation and then you hit reply. And you say, yes, and great connecting with you. If you're interested in, and in my case it's publicity tips, you can follow me on Facebook at, and then you give your URL, and on Twitter at, and I saw my numbers skyrocket when I started to do that. People would actually reply, and they'd say, oh, I just went over to Facebook and liked your page. Thanks so much for letting me know you were over there.
That is awesome. That is awesome. That's a really, really awesome tip. And that's a classic of what we're just saying here, to think outside Facebook, because sure, there's 700 million people on Facebook, but they're not staring at Facebook 24/7. They're using all kinds of other sites and, using social plugins, your blog, your e-zine, thinking offline if you have a physical store, coupons that you can give out, little, back of your business cards, things like that. And several years ago I came up with this concept I call radical strategic visibility. It's not just visibility, it needs to be strategic. In other words, you're seen in the right places, and that even goes, there's so much to this concept to teach a whole class on it, that basically the strategic, one of the strategic aspects is who you're seen with, who you're associated with, who you follow, who you interact with, who you're on stage with, different things like that. And the radical part is that, like Gary Vaynerchuk talks about hustle, you just have to get your hustle on best you can and get out there as much as possible. So I'm just going to keep going. Joan, interrupt me anytime if you need to. Social plugins, highly recommend that you're going to add the like button and to your website. Now I actually like to do, let's see, where did my website go? Bring it up here. I actually have what I call it's the recommend button. Okay, but see, you can make the like button your own fan page. This is kind of clever here over in the right. This is not a like box. This is the like box where I have the latest posts. It doesn't show your fan posts, it only shows your own posts. And then I like to put as big a block as possible, because we are absolutely in the day and age where people instantly recognize faces more than anything. And as I say, a picture says 1,000 words. So when you can put images, I do this all the time myself. I'm going to glance, even in my periphery vision, I'm going to see images and see, oh my gosh, look at that. No, there's Karen. I haven't seen Karen for ages. So that's the like box. But then what I have up here, this is the like button with my fan page being what's the underneath the like button, if you will. And then over on my actual blog, I think I changed it to recommend. Yeah, so that you saw a big high count. Now there's an example again. I got the recommend button, because you can just change the verb from like to recommend. And so 871 people, when they click that recommend button, they're posting a link on their profile on Facebook to my blog. And then below that I have the like box, a shorter version with the like box without the feed. So if anybody doesn't know where to get these, it's developers.facebook.com/plugins. Pretty sure they have the word docs in there, but I think it's just, yeah, it is. It goes to the same place. I'll put that on my little sticky for you. They have the word docs, but you don't need it. There you go. developers.facebook.com/plugins. That if you just want the straight like button. I like plugins. I'm a big fan of plugins, and I use different plugins for like getting these little buttons, the +1, the tweet button, and things like that. WordPress plugins. So that's the plugins. And then engagement strategy. Let's just give you a real quick idea of what I mean by engagement strategy. This is Brian Solis. He wrote a book called Engage. Phenomenal. It's really a complete and utter handbook, college course in a book. And Brian has this motto. He says engage or die. And what he means by that is that the companies, the brands, the business owners who are engaging with their fans and followers and friends are absolutely doing better than those that are not, and will win, quote unquote, if you will. But engagement strategies, for example, Social Media Examiner, my friends over there, Mike Stelzner and his whole team, their engagement strategy is that they do their best to answer posts within a couple hours, that every single post gets a reply, that they quickly strip out spam, they actually strip out all tags to just kind of keep the wall clean, things like that. So that's an example of a strategy, or even you could have a policy. Just watching the time here, Joan, I actually have quite a bit more slides, so I'm going to kind of speed up just a little bit.
That's fine.
And
Go
you
ahead.
stop me anytime. So conversion, now people are talking about, well, okay, you got this, the page is doing well, you got the the customization in there, you got some content going on, people are coming over joining, you got some engagement, great. But nice, but when I should say and, not but, and when you have added sufficient value, you're finding that great sources of content, you're not over flooding people with your content. By the way, the number one reason that people hide your updates in their newsfeed is the content's coming too frequently. People are posting 12, 15, 20 times a day. It's too much. But you've added tons of value. You're being deliberate about cherry picking the right content. You're going to build out what I call social equity, and you have absolutely earned the right, quote unquote, to make offers. In fact, it's going to get to the point your fans will be, well, gee, how do you make money? What does this person do? What, do they just sit in their computer all day and give stuff away for free? I mean, surely you've got to make money. So they're going to come to expect, no, well, gosh. The nice thing too is we call moving the free line. You might have heard that term in the internet marketing world. But moving the free line is you're giving more and more stuff away for free, because knowledge, you'll never run out of knowledge, you'll never run out of ideas and intellectual property and having opinions on different things. So that's okay to give stuff away. But spacing out your offers, Mike Stelzner does a great job of this. He's very deliberate about mapping out his whole 12-month calendar. He knows exactly the 60 days before doing a big summit, he's going to market then, and then there'll be nothing for 60 days, and then, well, he just basically paces it out, or maybe 30 days, something like that. Clear calls to action, CTA's calls to action. You've got to make it so easy. Click here to buy, sign up now, register for this event, discounted offer, coupons, whatever you want to do, but making it clear what people need to do, and absolutely reducing the number of steps and speed bumps and barriers to conversion. Even like, for example, CAPTCHA. Guy Kawasaki talks about that. Don't put CAPTCHAs anywhere. That's where you have to figure out those weird squiggly hieroglyphics and before you can get to the next step. And make it really, really easy for people to buy from you, and what buttons to click on, and how to pay and give you money. Tracking and measuring. I'm actually going to hold off going too deep on this. You've got your Facebook Insights.
Yeah, you can skip over.
Yeah, facebook.com/insights. And then scalability basically is you can reach into your community and ask people to help you, or you can hire people, but it just depends on your budget. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, Joan, is that you were so good to put together an awesome list of bullet points. Now, some of these I'm going to have already covered, but I decided to just put them in the slide so then when I narrate them, people have got a visual. So where to start looking for fans, and we touched on some of this quite a bit. We were talking about ads. Groups are a little bit harder to find these days, but certainly other fan pages. We talked about Twitter, LinkedIn. I actually think it's easier to proactively grow your Twitter account. Okay, so let's see where I'm at here with my Twitter. 110,000 followers and only, quote unquote, 43,000 on Facebook. Given the difference in size, okay, Twitter has 200 million users, Facebook has over 700 million users, but there's something about Twitter that makes it easier to grow proactively. And you can use a site like Twello. And this is all an integrated approach to your social media marketing. TWELLOW.com. It's the yellow pages of Twitter, and they have 30 million profiles. So let's say that your target market is, I don't know, let's say
Dog owners.
dog owners. Okay, a dog owner. I wonder if people would have
You sell dog toys.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm just going to put the word dog because I don't know if they necessarily would put
Mm-hmm.
dog owner.
Yep.
But yeah, so just the word dog, 57,000. Aha, look at that, dog owner. Dog owner. Some people put it's
And so
amazing.
this what Mari's demonstrating now is on how to find your target market. One way to find
Uh-huh,
your target market.
right.
And if you can find these people on Twitter, you can usually find them on Facebook.
You can find them on Facebook, and or what you do is that you follow these people. Vast majority will follow you back. I typically don't follow people that have, millions of followers, and they tend to not people follow people back.
No, I don't either.
You can put them in lists. If you really want to follow those people, put them in a list. But you grow your following by proactively following people. You can follow up to 1,000 people a day. There's some other different limiters in there, but basically, as that strategy I showed earlier about how to promote your fan page and get people over to start talking to you about a specific discussion. It's a great, great way. So you see how that works, that you can proactively grow on Twitter and you migrate some of them over to your fan page. I think that's really a great way that people don't tend to think of. And I have a blog post, there's another bit.ly link, bit.ly/21waysfb. That is case sensitive. It's one of my most popular guest blog posts for Social Media Examiner. It's 21 creative ways to build your fan base. And believe it or not, I wrote it a year ago, and it's one of my most evergreen posts. Every one of them are still valid, which is cool, because given it's Facebook. Now, and Joan mentioned, a smaller number of loyal fans. People, you'll hear this all the time. A lot of different social media schools of thought out there. They talk about how, it's all about the numbers. On Twitter, I am with Guy Kawasaki on this one. I think that you can go for total volume on Twitter. You don't have to sit and deliberate for hours on end. Oh, gee, should I follow this person back? They followed me, and etc. etc. You can just set it up on autopilot. I don't mind saying this. I actually do automatically follow people. I use social oomph.com. I automatically follow people back. And then I use some other different sites like manageflitter.com to purge people that are not the right people. Every few weeks or so I do that. But on Facebook, it's different. Facebook, because it moves slower. We talked about how it moves slower. They have a much, much deeper relationship with you. They're seeing your content, they're interacting, you're interacting directly with them. And so I totally agree that it's really better to have a smaller group of loyal fans who are your good target market. They interact with you, you've got a good engagement rate, and that they're in a position to buy from you. There's a term here I use called edutainment. You can be fun, playful, you can post off-topic things, you can post humor, you can post inspiring quotes. It doesn't have to be all business. Remember, vast majority of people on Facebook are there for personal reasons. They're there interacting with their friends and family, they're playing games, they're in social mode. So, just really not taking yourself too seriously. I don't know, Joan. I think that's one of my secrets to success. I don't take myself too terribly seriously. And when
Yeah,
I
I
sometimes
agree.
I do, and I have to pinch myself and go, knock it off. Do you realize how lucky you are? So anyway, yeah, and posting questions. This bottom bullet here. I really like people to post their own questions, and that here's that back to that keyword focus. A follow on course until successful. You're all about publicity. The interesting thing about your topic, Joan, I know it's evolved over the years, and you've really had to integrate social media because it's part of publicity, but you have a really neat array of tools and offerings and tips and ideas for people to get publicity, get visibility, both online and offline. So, and it's wonderful when you get yourself into that place of being synonymous with a specific area, versus, like for example, even though with Facebook, I do not know a whole lot about Facebook ads. I don't do a lot with ads. I don't do much with apps. I'm not really on the developer side. I don't work with major big household name brands. I'm not really in corporate. I'm more small to medium sized businesses,
Hmm.
and I help
Have you
those.
purchased Facebook ads in the past
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Done lots
to
of
get people
experimentation.
to your page?
hmm Yep,
And
yep.
have they worked?
They've worked somewhat. I think I one time,
Okay.
oh, about 2 years ago, I boosted my fan page by about 1,200 in a short period of time, in a few weeks, and it cost me, I think it was about 35 cents a fan over time, which wasn't bad. I've also done, if I'm doing a promotion, I'll buy an ad. Yeah. We talked about the photos, this top bullet here, because you're going to get more edge rank. And by the way, here's another hot tip for edge rank, increasing the edge rank. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's this question. Facebook actually gives questions significant weight in the newsfeed. So periodically make use of that question, and you can add poll options, and that seems to get tremendous visibility in the news feeds. You see, check your impressions and your results on that, but that's really kind of cool. And as you, okay, so again, back to that clear direction for conversion. When you absolutely ask your fans to like, if you like this, click like. Ask, as I say, what are your thoughts? Framing things as questions. Let's go back to a couple things. You'll see this one I posted this morning has two questions. Have you seen this new newsfeed design in the works? Question, right? Questions hook the mind. And then I finish by saying, what do you think? I don't want them to just say, yes, I've seen it. I want them to let me know what they think. There's something that I
Hmm.
did recently that was one of my most popular posts. It absolutely blew my mind. It was just a quick poll. Studies are showing that shorter is better. You want to have about 80, believe it or not, that Buddy Media report, the white paper, 80 characters or less. 80 characters. Okay, I'm not finding it right away, but it was a
Does that include any? Does that include links? Does
yeah,
that
even
include
when you're
characters and links?
yeah, like if you look at Mashable, look how short they are. Their little updates are super,
Yeah.
super short. And they're
Yeah.
great at
Yeah.
asking questions. Mashable, even though they don't do much on engagement, they're actually a great page to study for increasing edge rank. See, all of them, they do questions, link, question, link, question, link. They do a great job of that. But yeah, no, the other day I said something about how many Facebook friends do you have. I was doing a little poll for a specific reason, and oh, there it is.
Hmm.
There it is. 52 is one of the highest highest posts. Point 0.5 was that 51% feedback. Insane.
That's amazing.
Yeah. 220 people replied because that's all. I just wanted people to just put a number, and a lot of people just did. That's all they did, just put a number. Some people put comments. So but to asking, there's something else I wanted to show you. It's in there somewhere where I said, oh, have you seen this new photo feature? Click like if you like. And it was amazing just by saying those words. Click like if you like. And I got tons and tons of likes. The reason you want to do that again is increasing that edge rank. You want to increase that visibility in the newsfeed.
Click like if you
Isn't
like.
that funny?
Wow.
It's
How
so
simple.
simple. Yeah. How are we doing on time? I'm completely aware, but we're already in 75 minutes in and I have more content. I feel like I'm teaching a whole class in an hour,
Well,
but
why don't you continue with my bullet points, and
mhm.
then we'll take questions, and that should do it.
Okay, perfect. Because
Unless
that's
you have a lot more content
no,
you
no.
want to share.
I have two more slides on on your
Oh, okay.
bullets. Yeah.
Good.
So tagging. Now then, I think there's two primary reasons. Well, really one primary reason to use at tagging, and that's what I call attribution. It's the same. It's the same as retweeting. So when you retweet someone on Facebook, excuse me, when you retweet someone on Twitter, you wouldn't dream of not putting their name in. That's the whole essence of retweeting, is that you're taking something someone said and you're sharing it with your followers and you're attributing the original author. Same idea on Facebook. And many times you'll just have that share button. Let's just hop over back to Mashable.
Could
Anytime,
you show us, Mari?
yeah,
Could you demonstrate what tagging and autographing is? Because I think
yeah,
a lot of people don't know.
you
And
bet.
it's very powerful.
Yeah, sure. Let's just come back over here. So if I was in here, have you seen what? Now then, you can type the at symbol, and then as soon as you type a letter, I'm going to start typing the word social, and it's already dropped in. So this is the one I want. I'm going to then click on it. See
Now,
how?
what's coming up in the window are pages that Mari has liked.
Correct.
You
Yeah.
cannot tag other people's pages unless you've liked them first,
Correct. Yeah,
or they
exactly.
won't show
They
up.
won't show up at all. Yeah, you have to first go to their page, like it, and then if you were in the middle of typing an update, you have to refresh because it doesn't instantly give you it in the drop down. So what's going to happen when I click Social Media Examiner, it looks gray here, and then I don't know, I'm just making this up right now, published today. Then if I hit share, what's going to happen? That will automatically turn into a link, into a hyperlink, and it'll be linked to Social Media Examiner's page. And at the same time, if we were to then go over to Social Media Examiner's page, you would see the same post would have landed on their wall. Now let's see if I can find.
That's powerful.
Yeah, okay, here's an example of like, let me zoom this in just a little bit. So here is me tagging American Express Open. Now, some of the tags or some of the pages are set up like American Express Open. They've turned their wall off, which is crazy, but oh well. So if a fan page has their wall turned off, your at tags will not show up. But that's okay. If you're wanting to give, for this particular reason, I was giving them, sending people to their page. But what I like to put this question in here. Ask yourself, what's your deepest intent? So that example I just was giving in Social Media Examiner, if my intent was to promote myself, or doing a seminar or doing something that I felt in any way, shape, or form might be taken away from Mike's audience, and we have a very complementary and overlapping audience, and we're great friends, we're great business partners. But and no matter who it was, even if it wasn't somebody I knew well, I would still say, what is my deepest intent? Because I think what happens is that people, they don't really think through, how is this going to show up on the other person's wall? So when you're doing it from a place of really adding value, and or attribution, and or just autographing, we'll show you that in a second too, but I just want to draw your attention to another link down here, bit.ly/tag_etiquette. That's just a blog post that I wrote on my own blog with tagging etiquette. An example of tagging yourself, let's say I just happen to have Mashables right here, so today is a great day. Because I am right now, I'm in my personal profile mode, so this is going to post on their wall as my profile. So then I could go and I can tag my own fan page. That's what we mean by autograph. So I could literally go.
Oh, I never knew what that was. Okay.
I could go like that. Cheers, Mari Smith. I'm not going to post this, but if I post that, this is actually going to post as my personal profile, but I'm autographing it. And you can do that in comments. You can do that anywhere. You can just sign off. You see here, actually, I know that's my picture from my personal profile. Hi there.
And one of the things that was in my bullet point list that I gave you was how do you decide when you are operating on Facebook as a person, and when do you decide when you're operating as a brand?
Well, for example,
especially with tagging.
Yeah. Well, Facebook recently made a change, by the way, that you cannot tag your friends. You can't tag your fans. Yeah, see if I go to try to, these are all fan pages. You can no longer tag friends, whatever mode you're in. Actually, excuse me, you have to be in profile mode. Well, I have under my master settings, I have checked that box, and how to do it is you go edit page, and then it says your settings. It's the first one at the top, your settings over the top left, and you uncheck the box that if you have that box checked, what that means is that the default mode is you will always be posting on your own page as the page. If you want the option to switch back and forth, you have to uncheck that. Here's the deal. It's interesting, and this kind of ties back to what you were asking earlier, Joan, about clicking the like button on your own post. I don't know if that affects EdgeRank or not, but I think it does affect. I know it has to affect EdgeRank if you're posting on your own page as your page versus as your personal profile. I don't think you're going to get anywhere near the EdgeRank if you make posts as your personal profile, because then Facebook's just treating you like another fan. You're essentially just a fan.
Yeah, just another person. Yeah, some 22-year-old kid. Yeah, somebody wants to know if the autograph function, if you run the risk of that being considered spamming.
Well, again, it's back to that deepest intent. Because if your intent is just to sign off your name and the content of what you just posted is adding value to the page owner and their fans, absolutely, it's very tasteful, it's very classy. I don't do it that often
Okay.
because otherwise you can just post as your fan page. Since the February of this year, since Facebook changed it up that we can post as our fan page, then just do that. Just switch to fan page mode, like the page as your page, and then just comment on their wall as your page. Yeah. Okay, just a few more things for you here. We talked about these actually already, like box comments, like button, WordPress plugins. Here's a real hot tip for you. I use this in every single PS of every email I send out to my list. Definitely want to put, if you're good on HTML, put the little come find us on Facebook, join us on Twitter, things like that. But you can actually put, and that's CTA again, calls to actions, come right on our wall, things like that. But this share link is so hot. It's http:// facebook.com. You can have the W's or not. But /, here's the critical piece, share dot php question mark u, which stands for URL, equals, and then where I've got URL in uppercase there, you back that out, and everything after the equal sign needs to be the link that you want people reading your email to share on their Facebook wall. And it's amazing how many people will do that. Amazing.
I'm confused
hmm
about this. How to use email to lure current fans to your Facebook page. Call to action. So in the email, what do you say? Share this link?
Yeah,
Is that what you
absolutely.
type
You see,
within the body of the email? Share this link.
share this like say like I'm promoting, say my email is about a webinar I'm doing, an upcoming webinar the other day with Guy Kawasaki. So
Okay.
I'll say share PS. I'll often put it as a PS. Go ahead and share this webinar with Guy Kawasaki with your Facebook friends. Just click the link to share. Yeah, click the link to
And
share.
so the URL at the end is what? The place where they can sign up for the
Yeah,
webinar?
might be my registration page.
Not it's or it can be your Facebook page if you wanted to,
Could be.
right? If it's
Yeah, good point. Good point.
okay, got it. Oh, that's a great tip.
Yeah, it could be any URL you want. You just have to spell out in full, so it's kind of looks weird. It's like you got two URLs in one. So you got HTTP, but after the equal sign, you've got to put HTTP
Terrific tip.
:// Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that. It's really effective. We talked about that, compared with more missed visitors, and then the welcome page video. Again, purpose of that super short, 60 seconds. You can have a video or not on your welcome page. If you do, it just makes it warm and personal, and that people can know who you are and what you're about. Last one on these bullets. Number one thing to know about contests, you simply have to use a third-party app. And that might be Wildfire or Strata, Strutta, strata.com. Or, since February of this year, you could use your own iframe. So you don't have to
And
pay.
if you don't do a third party app and you try to sponsor your own contest and they find out, you can get your account closed out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If you guys just do a Google search for Facebook promotions, and you'll see there is a post. Yeah, it comes up pretty high. It's very well indexed. So, Social Media Examiner, again, one of my very popular posts, and Facebook promotions, what you need to know. This really goes into it. And I wrote it in March, and that was just before they made some different changes and they brought the iframe app out. But I have heard from good source that you can use the iframe app and you don't have to pay for it. But I just recommend, if you're going to take your contest seriously, I would use Strata or Wildfire. um, Facebook ads, you know what, Joan? I always say it's probably my Scottish frugal genes, but if I don't have to spend money on marketing, I'd rather not.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And
I'm with you.
and they're really hard. Sometimes it's just like pouring money down the drain if you don't really know what you're doing. So, however, in my book, Facebook Marketing an Hour a Day, my wonderful co-author, Chris Treadaway, he is an absolute ninja at ads. He's brilliant. And there's a few other brilliant experts out there. And I recommend, if you really want to master Facebook ads, study with people that clearly have a track record and know what they're doing. And Chris Treadaway is certainly one of those people. There's a few other different books that you can get. There's a few books coming out actually that I know of from Wiley on Facebook ads. Um, let's just show them one quick tip here on the profile that's very important to do. You want to make sure that your employer field is linked to your fan page. Oops, I don't know why the hover card's not showing. Loading. Facebook's always glitchy. But that hover card should drop down, and that's my fan page. And again, go ahead and go to my blog, just mariasmith.com/blog, and make sure to read this post, the second last one, the number one mistake on your personal Facebook profile. That'll show you how to make that employer link your fan page. Yeah, and just this last one here, Joan, I think probably the annoying things would be a couple things that nobody here, of course, but there's some like outright spammers there. There's people that do what's called like spamming. They come and they like your content, but they never comment, and that way you can't ban them. You cannot ban people that are only liking versus commenting. Crazy things like that, or just being inappropriate in that whole thing with the tagging of trying to show up on fan pages with the number one intent of like poaching, quote unquote. I don't even like using those words because I don't think people really mean to do that, but and also, you know, over posting or posting irrelevant content. So yeah, so let's go ahead and we can do a few more.
I've got a question about contests or likes, and this is I've seen a lot of debate about this, and I'm curious about your take on it. Should you give away free stuff to get people to like your page?
You know, there's two schools of thought on that. So Guy Kawasaki does wonderful on that with his enchantment page, and he gives away some like free ebooks. So if it's like totally relevant and pertinent to what you're doing already, I'm already a fan, so I don't land on the welcome tab. But this is his landing tab, and you see here you can download his book, PDF of Database 101, and you also get he's always changing these up. You know what? He changes these offers because he used to actually have a couple chapters of Tim Ferriss's book. So this is a great example. I would emulate Guy, and you're doing a nice giveaway that's completely in alignment with your own fan page and your niche and whatnot. Where it can get tricky, and Ekaterina, she works for Intel. She wrote a great blog post about this. About where if you have just created an incentive for people to like your page, and it's a discount code, it's a special discount code or some kind of a freebie that's not that relevant really to what you're all about, people will like your page, get the freebie, and then they'll unlike it. So there's some different schools of thoughts out there, and I would yeah. More questions?
Yeah, one more. I only see one more question here. It's from Nancy. Regarding wall photos, I upload a lot of photos, but that leaves me in the position of having to re-upload those I want on my wall. Any tips?
Oh, okay, so the photos are on her personal profile, but she also wants them on her fan page?
That's what I think she's talking about. Or maybe she uploads them as I'm not sure what she means.
Yeah.
But go ahead and answer the question.
Yeah, that is the case, that Facebook does not allow you. There's no simple way to get photos on your profile and on your fan page at the same time. You can tag yourself in photos and things like that, but yeah, like this. So what I tend to do is like, so this photo, I loaded it to my fan page, but you'll see in the tags, I've actually tagged my fan page and my profile. So when I tagged my profile, it automatically showed up. Now here's an example of tagging that I actually tagged Guy's fan page in here. I'm trying to remember if that would have showed up on his page. It probably did show up on his page. It doesn't matter. Never mind. I was going to explain something I did, but I did something different. Anyway, here's an example of tagging. Load it to your fan page, tag your profile. It'll show up in both places. But space it out. Don't do it at the exact same time. Wait a few hours, so then you're not back to back in the newsfeed.
Somebody wants to know how Guy Kawasaki gets those book downloads on the side of his page.
How he gets them?
How do you make them available? Those downloads right there.
Well, in that case,
he's all done with.
No, that just goes straight to the PDF file. I just clicked on it and it goes to Guy Kawasaki.
Oh, it goes straight to the PDF. Okay, so it's simply a hyperlink.
Yeah.
It's a hyperlink.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So you have to have to answer the question, you got to have the hyperlink hosted somewhere. You got to have the document hosted somewhere. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Okay. I don't see any more questions here.
Okay, let me just wrap up with a little way of how people can, not a little way, but an awesome way that people want to do any work with me, get some training with me, and I'm just going to zip through. These are 13, I think I have here, Joan. You probably see some of these a lot too. Oopsie daisy. Ah, went too fast. I was
I don't have time.
pressing my button.
That's always the first one on the list. How do you have
Yeah,
time to do all this?
it is. And people think, one of my secrets with the time is I use my iPhone a lot. I do a few minutes here or there, so it all adds up. And at the end of the day, it looks like I've been on my site and my Facebook, my Twitter, constantly, but it's literally is a few minutes here and there. So lots of different things about, knowing about content privacy, protecting yourself and copyright, best practices, etc. And basically what I have is people are welcome to take advantage of it. It's the socialmediaimmersion.com. It's 20 hours of video training. It's a program that you can check it out. It's only $297. People paid $1,500 to come to the live event, and it was a 2.5-day event. Plus, you can go ahead and add on. What I do is I do monthly webinars that basically it's one of the best ways to keep up to date with everything that's going on Facebook and Twitter and social media, period. So just $97 for a whole year of membership. People are welcome to take advantage of that.
For a whole year, it's not $97 a month?
$97 for a whole year.
Oh, I'm in. I'm going to go sign up.
Oh,
and this is
thanks.
not just for Facebook. Is that correct?
Correct.
It's for social media in general?
Yes, correct.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, that's terrific. And then I also want you to answer one more question because I know this is the question everybody's asking. You gave us so much stuff to do.
Yeah.
Where do I start? Or how do I make this manageable?
Yeah.
Any good tip?
Well, go back to the 7 strategies and decide where you fit in. In fact, I could just go let me just pull up that slide with all 7 in one. Decide where you fit in. If you're not even on Facebook yet, obviously you need to get your design going. If you have a decent number, let's say you're posting a lot of content but you're not getting much traction, go and focus on promotion. Focus on getting the word out about your page. If you got a lot of fans and a lot of content but not much traction is happening, you're not getting a whole lot of likes and comments, really ramp up that engagement and really understand the edge rank. Go and look up that Buddy Media white paper. If you're not converting much, so on and so forth. You get the idea. Find where you fit on these 7 steps. We could really say 8 if we include the objective, which is the pre-strategy. So find where you fit in this ladder here and focus there. Start there, because it's going to be different for everybody here. Some of you might have 20 fans, some of you might have 2,000 fans, some of you might be selling well, some are just looking at have plateaued and are looking to take it to the next level. Now here's one piece of advice. Take the 80-20 rule. There's the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle, that 80% of our results comes from 20% of our efforts, and I hope I got that right, but you know what I'm talking about. So I've just given you 100% here today. You are not going to apply 100%. Take 20%. In fact, even lower the number. Write down 1 to 3 things that I did today, 1 to 3 tips. And Joan had some great ideas, and several times she said, listen to this is a great tip. Take 1 to 3 of those and commit to applying it in the next, let's say, 5 days. Okay? And then after that, apply something else. So you're going to just pace yourself, baby steps, implement. Does that make sense and help?
Yeah, that's the advice I give. Whenever I'm at the end of a webinar, I say pick out 3 things and only 3. Do not make a to-do list of 22 things.
You'll never do it. You'll get overwhelmed. You'll just kind of walk away and go, this was a waste of my time. It's not working. But you've got to give yourself a break and then
the other thing I'm going to recommend that people do too is go over to Mari's page every single day and read it. Even if you don't have questions, you have got a huge audience, and they ask some dynamite questions, and they ask a lot of questions that you've answered a million times, but they don't know the answers, and that's where your value comes in. So make Mari's page a part of your workday, even if you go over there for 30 seconds and take a look at the first 3 postings.
Thank you.
That's my advice.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, this is fantastic. Any closing snippet, any one piece of advice?
My one piece of advice is this. I know that the world has changed, that social media, everything's getting faster, we're speeding up. For those of you who are more aware and conscious of spiritual evolution, 2012 is a big shift in consciousness. I think it's all part of the plan, and I am a big fan of being what I call a lifestyle entrepreneur, that you fit your business around your lifestyle, not the other way around. And that really, that whole part about the deepest intent, when you come from a place of adding value and being consistent with that value, and not allowing yourself to get overwhelmed and freaked out, because you'll never learn it all. There is not one person on the planet that knows everything there is to know about social media marketing, for example. So just, pick and choose who you're going to learn from, take baby steps, and just enjoy the journey.
You've been fantastic. Thank you so much. We will see you on Facebook, and you're doing just fantastic things with your business. And you are one of my heroes who I learn from constantly, and then turn around and teach my publicity hounds. So thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you on your page.
Thank
If
you.
not, hopefully at a seminar someplace in person, or certainly in your membership group.
Awesome. Absolutely. Yeah. Socialmediamartian.com. Come on over there if it speaks to you, and I will see you all on Facebook and Twitter. Bye for
Okay,
now.
thanks, Mari. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Take care. Bye-bye.